Good evening and welcome to this evening's edition of the Vision Root video blog. I'm your host, Richard Urban, coming to you from historic Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. And I'm here tonight with our co-host, who is Sarah Urban. And she is a star Student Teaching Abstinent Responsibility Guide with Urban Life Training. And tonight we are going to watch a segment from The Real Deal on Love, Relationships, and Marriage, put out by Relationship Intelligence Institute, founded by Dr. Richard Panzer. And we're going to see that segment and then comment on it. And I hope you will benefit from this segment. We'll share it, and you will get involved with spreading this great message of abstinence before marriage and healthy relationships to everyone. So let's watch that segment now.
In this documentary, we're sharing with you lots of information regarding love, relationships, and marriage. I want to talk to you about my story. I made a lot of poor choices as a teenager. I had to face a lot of consequences. I'm also going to share with you the transition that I made in making better choices. I dated my boyfriend, and we were young teens when I dated him. And the first time I had sex with him, the very first time, I got pregnant. It was so quick, bam. Next thing I knew, I was pregnant. Then from that point forward, I just want to say that my entire world went into this downward spiral. I had to end up leaving school. I couldn't pursue my college. You get morning sickness, you get afternoon sickness, you get night sickness, you can't sleep. My stepfather didn't want me in the house. My mother was upset that I was pregnant, but they tolerated me, so to speak. Then I ended up having to get social services, which was only $322 a month. Let's see, we're pulling up. This is a block that I lived in for about 15 years. Some of the houses are pretty dilapidated. Most of them were tore them down. I used to live down here a little bit more. Hey, what's up, Dixie? How you doing? How y'all doing? Hello? Huh? Just somebody. I used to live around here. We used to hang out in this building right here. We used to hang out all on the first floor, in the back of this building right here. But they tore that. It looked like they tore it down. I think it had a fire there. I would sit on this porch and we would play cards, smoke cigarettes and drink 40 ounces and do all that stuff, depressed and with a little baby. So this is it. This is it. My dad didn't live here, of course, because he wasn't in the picture at the time. I just grew up with my mom and my stepdad and my son. His dad was kind of in and out of his life, but it was hard. I mean, we struggled quite a bit. As a young person, I wasn't thinking about, I wasn't thinking about college. I wasn't thinking about work. I was thinking about taking care of my baby. How he's going to eat. How am I going to buy Pampers? What am I going to do? I'll see y'all later. I think all of my friends that I was with, all of them had several different babies as teenagers by several different other men, and there was no commitment, there was no child support, because what do you do when you date a man who doesn't have a job? He's a teenager, he's not working. Financially, he's not ready. And then my son's father wasn't there. He was out messing with other girls, getting other girls pregnant. We were living together and we weren't married. There was no commitment. He'd come over to my house anytime he felt like it. He'd leave anytime he felt like it. If he didn't feel like coming, he didn't come. It's just not a game. It's not fun. The most important thing in your life is the fact that you have to bring a new life in an uncommitted relationship with an uncommitted mindset, because you already are unstable. So your mind isn't even stable because you don't even know who you are, so. My mom, she had me when she was 14. By the time she was 18, she already had 3 babies by 3 different men. And I saw that. I grew up and saw that. Now, I didn't know my dad until I turned 16. I don't want to play the blame game because, of course, I'm accountable for what I do. But I really do think that if he had been in my life, if he was married to my mom, if we lived in a very structured home, I think that I probably would have been raised a little bit differently. I think I probably would have made a lot of different choices, and I don't think I would have been in a relationship sexually with an abusive man who did not care about myself or my family. My father would have made sure that whoever was in our life was a person who was respectful, honest, and was going to be in it for the long haul and not in it just to take advantage of his daughter's body. I needed a role model. I needed someone that I could look at and say, I want to be like so and so. So and so, you know, they're married. They're, you know, gosh, this is great. And all I saw was grandma, lady across the street and her husband, and they were elderly. I didn't see young people my age that were happily married, that were in committed marriages and relationship with one another. You know, I didn't see that. All I saw was the hustle and bustle of a single family household where the stepfather came in and he was in and out of the person's life, or I saw people dating each other in relationships, uncommitted relationships, having babies. You know, one month they're dating this person, they get pregnant by that person, they have the baby. A few months later they're dating a wholly different guy, and then they're pregnant by that guy. And you know, it was just an ongoing cycle of things that I saw. When I was in a relationship and I was single, and I mean, you know, and I wasn't married, and I was having intercourse and having sex with these individuals, I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I wanted them to give me something that they weren't even capable of giving me, because firstly, they didn't even possess it. You know, they had absolutely no desire to want to be in a committed relationship with me, and they had no desire to make love to me. They had no desire to love me. All they wanted to do was get some sex to feed that initial whatever it was that was going on in their bodies, and vice versa. We were lustful, we were in it, and then when they left me, I felt like so emptied out. I did not date. I wouldn't put myself into those positions where I was with a guy at midnight in a place and it was just us two alone and the lights were dim and, you know, and soft music was playing and, you know, and of course we're attracted to one another, because I felt like it was a major distraction for a person like myself who was trying to hurdle over so many emotional things that I was going through at the time. And plus, I didn't want to become vulnerable, you know. I tell you, after being celibate, after that 1 year, you know, it's just like, man, I can really do this. Right. I can really, and I can feel good about it. I didn't have to walk into a room and in the back of my mind think that I was with someone last night, if whether or not he was going to call me, whether or not I was ever going to see him again. Or I didn't have to wake up the next day and I didn't have to feel like, oh, well, maybe I should go out and go get tested, you know, because I don't know, this guy could have had something. I wasn't thinking at the time. It was just sporadic sex and it was just a one-night stand and, oh, God, you know, oh, my God. So now I didn't have to, you know, wake up with any regrets. It weeded out all of the bad guys, and it started causing all of the guys with integrity, all of the guys who were about substance, who had substance about themselves. Those were the ones who gravitated to me because they knew I had a standard. They knew I had boundaries. I waited, and I got the real deal. Yeah. He makes love to me. I don't have sex. I make love. You know what I'm saying? So there's a big difference. I wake up, I don't have any regrets. I know my husband's coming home after work. I know he's not out sleeping around with the neighbor. You know, we love and respect, because he's my best friend. Everything that I did not have in an uncommitted and an unmarried sexual relationship is everything that I do have now. It's wonderful. It's safe, it's free love, it's free sex, it's free making whatever you want, it's free. You know, my husband tells me he loves me constantly because I think we need that, and you can't get that having a sexual relationship with the person who's not your husband's wife. You can't get it. Sex is not what holds the marriage together, but sex is just the plus. It's the icing on the cake. I find myself like, if I'm gone away from my husband for an extended amount of time, you know, I'm just like, I can't wait to get home to be with my husband, you know, for us to share intimate times together, just laying in the beds with one another and, you know, and cuddling and, you know, oh, honey, I miss you, doing corny stuff, you know, but it's really not corny, you know, and then that building up to us becoming intimate, you know, because it's just like, wow, you know, I never thought it could be this great. I never thought. And then him loving me back and him not getting up, leaving, you know, and I'm like, come back, you know. He's there with me the whole night, you know. We wake up together, our breaths stink in the morning, and I still love him. I still love him. So, yeah, the icing on the cake.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that segment on the real deal about love, relationships, and marriage. And we're here with our special guest, Sarah Urban, and she is a star guide with Urban Life Training. So, and has been with our organization since it was founded in 2003. So that's some 14 years ago. All right. So we'd like to discuss a little about the clip that we just read. And so why do you think, Sarah, like Yvonne described her story and her testimony, you know, why did she get sexually involved? Like when she was just 17 years old, a teenager. You know, what do you think she was looking for?
Oh, she wasn't receiving love from her mom or her stepdad, or maybe it was her
Mm-hmm.
mom's boyfriend, and she wa she was looking for love, but it was in the wrong places,
Mm-hmm.
because you won't find love from in an uncommitted relationship.
Mm-hmm. I think that's true. So, basically, did it turn out like she expected? Those relationships or that relationship.
No.
Mm-hmm. So, in the second part or the latter part of the testimony, we see that she decided to abstain from sex. Um, so, what kind of effect did that have on on her abstaining? What did effect did that have?
Well, it changed her life. She was able to focus on her goals, and she was able to focus on building her, and she wouldn't have to worry about uh, she she felt better emotionally, had probably had better self-esteem. She felt that she
Mm-hmm.
was
Mm-hmm.
that the that she didn't have to worry about a guy um, who was being dishonest with her,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
uh, she felt she didn't have to uh, she so it changed her, and she felt the guy she was looking for was a man of integrity.
Hmm. Yeah, that sounds to be really important. A person of integrity. So, what do you think? What would you say to youth like who, want to be different? Is it good to think outside the box? Like, you've lived in DC and a lot of neighborhoods. There, you don't see many couples like Yvonne was saying that the mother and father's in the home. So it's quote unquote normal, to have, moms or sometimes a dad with no mom around, a mom with no dad around. Maybe there are multiple fathers of the children in the family. You know, how do you see that? Is it good to think outside the box to try to think ahead? Hey, maybe this is my situation, but it could be different in my life than it was, like for my mom and dad or grandma, or whatever. Do you think, people can think differently and then, get into a different mode?
Yes, if they if they have if they have somebody talking to them about abstinence, because their mother or dad, mom or the guardian, caretaker, their guardian, because sometimes young teen children don't grow up with their mom or
Mm-hmm.
dad,
Right.
isn't talking about abstinence. They if they unless they unless somebody is talking to them about abstinence and setting or a good role model in their life,
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
then
I agree. Well, definitely. So that kind of segues like so. In an organization that I founded with my wife, we our mission is to help you succeed by abstaining from sex before marriage and for drugs, alcohol, and to have a successful family. And so, as you're going on that journey yourself, how do you feel? You're still single, right? So are you like is that idea of abstinence important to you? And, what advice would you give to other youth who are looking, toward their future? What would you say to
well, absence is very important to me.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's important to abstain, not to be healthy in life, to focus on your goals in life, and you will have better self-esteem. Um, you're you will you'll be free from depression because most depression is caused by being sexually active
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, there's definitely a correlation there of
and
having like sexual partners, and especially multiple partners, and feeling depressed. You know, if you're like in a sexual relationship, you're unmarried, you know, you're a teen or young adult, whatever. Mm-hmm. Definitely true. Okay, so I would encourage everyone out there to, you know, make that a goal to abstain until marriage. And also, there are great materials available. Um, we work with the Relationship Intelligence Institute. We have our own a web portal, and we have many materials there of that we've developed, and also from the Relationship Intelligence Institute. And you can subscribe to that web portal, and you can check our organization at urbanlifetraining.org, as well as finding the real deal videos and materials online at the preteensyouth.org. So we hope you've enjoyed this look into the real deal on healthy relationships, and we hope that you'll you know, study those materials and that you benefited from this discussion tonight. Do comment below, do share, and thanks for joining us this evening on this Vision Read video blog with our special guest here, Sarah Urban. Thanks for joining us, and good night, and be blessed from Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. Good night.